Hi, I'm Gwen Richardson, producer and host of the weekly live stream show Black Authors Matter TV. In addition to our weekly live stream show, we compile a series of how-to videos on a variety of book-related topics. This video is about how to organize a successful book event. You may have thought about putting a book event together and you want to have some tips on how to do it successfully. So you're going to hear from four well-established book event coordinators about how to do just that. Stay tuned for more how-to videos from Black Authors Matter TV. Enjoy.
Wonderful.
And in 2008, we decided we would have a literary brunch to celebrate our 10th anniversary. And we've just never stopped. That one day brunch has grown into a 2-day conference. And I just love doing it. And of course, that's really what I focus on between the book club and the event. That is what I'm doing in retirement.
Well, I'm moving to DC next month, so I will be at your next conference because COVID's going to be over. We're already speaking that into existence.
Very good, very good. We, of course, canceled this year because we're in October. I just haven't felt like I wanted to do a virtual, although I may change my mind, but I was just so happy that my keynote stayed with me. Bernice McFadden will be our keynote speaker next year. Okay. And every year I recognize what I call an icon, a literary icon. And our literary icon will be Kimberly Lawson Roby. So I'm really looking forward to next year. That's and amazing. Getting started, I had started and then stopped, but it's time now, as Gwen knows, to start looking forward to next year. Because when you talk event planning, I don't have to tell Gwen or others who do it. It's all in the details.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
a lot of people they have no idea.
Right.
The details.
There's so many little things that if you skip those little things, it's going to wind up being a big thing.
Absolutely.
Well, you can't skip them. You cannot skip them.
Well,
there's so many little things.
They do.
Well,
and
some people do.
Run into trouble.
Some people do. And also a lot of times people, when you've been doing this, because this was our 13th anniversary this year for the National Black Book Festival. When you do an event, people look at the end result and they think it's an easy thing.
Yes.
And then they go back to wherever they live and they will say, well, I can do that. And then they might pull it off once and go in the hole, because a lot of people don't realize when you do a book event, there may be a year or more than one where you actually go in the hole.
Right.
And you have to decide, do I want to keep going or do I want to give up?
And I had someone to call me the other day, and to me, event planning is just event planning. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. There are certain steps. If it's a family reunion, right. If it's a book festival, if it's just a one-day brunch, there are some things you can't ignore. You need a budget.
What are some of those key things? I know you just mentioned budget.
Well, I think that you have to first start with a budget.
Yes.
And you really can't do anything until you find that perfect venue. You can't invite authors. Maybe I'm going to do it October 5th, but I have to see if the hotel is available. So there are some things you just have to have. Right. And I say you have to have a budget, but I also say you got to know where you're going to get the money from.
Right.
Yes.
You need.
How are you going to finance it? That's how are you going to finance it? That's the key. And a lot of people think, well, I'll get sponsors. Let me tell you, after 13 years in this space, now you're sharing your experience might be different. There is not a lot of money being donated for Black literary events. There just isn't. There hasn't been in 13 years. I don't know if you get one small sponsor, decent size sponsor, you're lucky. But you have to know how you're going to finance your event. And here's something else. If you're doing something like this, like now, I don't know about you, Sharon. Your experience might be different.
But,
but
but,
but you are going to do a lot of work as a volunteer for your own event.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not willing to do unpaid work based on a cause you believe in,
that's true.
don't even try it. Don't even do it. Don't even do it.
And if
Because
you're not willing to look at your budget and say, okay, this is what I need, but this is what I have.
Mm-hmm.
I go in my pocket every year and I don't even lie about it.
Right.
You know, I budget what I am going to put in.
Right.
Because you really can't
How much
depend.
you can put in and then how much you need to bring in.
That's
But,
correct.
What I try to do when I plan my events is I plan multiple streams of income. Some of the money is going to come from ticket sales.
That's correct.
Some will come from sponsorships. Some, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna come out of my pocket.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, but you have to budget so that way you don't keep going into your pocket for thousands and thousands of dollars.
You don't want to keep going, but you have to have seed money that first year. You know, I tried to help somebody put on an event, and I talked and I talked. And I told her, I said, honey, this is your first event. She told me, oh, child, we're going to sell 100 tickets and this, that, and the other. And I said, you don't have an audience.
Right.
Who do you think is going to buy these 100 tickets? Sure, if you sell them, you're going to be okay. But how many times do we sell the number of tickets we want to sell?
Right.
I have to laugh because I always want to sell more than I do.
Thank you.
I always want to sell. And you have to have some names that will bring out a crowd.
Absolutely. You have to have people want to see. And the one thing that I learned from the very first time I did this with my budget is you have to have a break-even point.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
You have to know that I want to sell 100 tickets, but if I can only sell 70, I can break even.
I want you to just mention your Christian Book Lovers Retreat and how long it's been going on. Just a couple of things about it so people can anticipate it for the next year.
We do the Christian Book Lovers Retreat, and I've been doing it since 2016. It was an event that started after I broke my ankle and I couldn't travel anymore. And my daughter said, well, why don't you just bring the people here to you? And I said, oh, I can do that. And so then I went and I asked my readers, I said, I'm thinking about doing this event. Would you guys come? And so they've been coming ever since, and I'm so thankful. So it's been, this year was the 6th year. Next year, we'll still be in Charlotte, North Carolina next year, and it's the end of October 27th through the 30th. And so they come on out. We have a lot of fun. Our motto is faith, fun, fellowship, and a whole lot of books. And so what we do is we bring in faith events. Our readers have loved those. We do fun is we do theme parties. This year we did the 20s party. Next year we're doing an African theme, and it's just all in. I tell people it's all in good, clean fun. And so that's what. Well, oh, and we also do like paint parties, craft parties, and things like
really
that.
Nice.
Yeah, we've done we do what am I trying to say? Like we've brought in masseuses for the women and things like that, and they've had their I can't think of it right now.
A mani-pedi?
No. Yes, yeah. And so
I wasn't coming if there wasn't a mani-pedi.
But we couldn't do it this year because we didn't do it this year because of COVID. And this year we all had our masks on, and we wanted to have the people, keep a little bit of distance, but we're hoping to be able to bring the pampering sessions. That's what I was trying to get across. we do different type of pampering sessions for the women too. So we do a whole lot. It's all inclusive. Once you pay for the registration, everything that we bring in there, there's no extra fee. So we just come and we just have a good time.
The Black Ink Charleston Festival, what do you all have going on this year? What
Oh
do
my
you do?
God. We
Wow.
are so excited. So this year is, so last year was our first year with a theme, and we went all in with romance. And this year we are doing sci-fi fantasy, and our theme is Black to the Future. And so we've been having conversations around what Afrofuturism is, big word, and how we show up in sci-fi and fantasy fiction.
Nice.
And so we had a great conversation, and her name just went out of my head.
Is it your keynote person?
So our keynote is Namina Forna, and she's written young adult sci-fi fantasy. But we had a conversation, and I am so sorry, y'all. I'm blanking after the holidays and getting back to work.
It
Your
happens. It
brain,
happens.
It'll come back. It may be after the show's over.
yeah.
But
But it's on our YouTube and our Facebook channel, and you guys can go and watch it. And we had a great conversation about what Afrofuturism is. And she coined or used the term the Black Fantastic. And so this year we are just really on the heels of Black Panther 1 and 2. We were anticipating the release. And so as we were planning last year, we thought this would be the year for sci-fi, because Black Panther 2 would be coming out in the fall. And so it's just really us reimagining our place and our space in these fantasy worlds with magic and, time travel and, space travel and all the things. So we're really excited to talk about that, have those conversations, and hear other people's thoughts around what it looks like for them when we show up in that space.
To really jump into your writer's summit, because those retreats were things that kind of went away when COVID first started, and they're starting to come back now. And so now your summit is coming back.
Right. So I created the Writing Sisters Summit. And it was actually in 2019 was the first one. So the Writing Sisters Summit, the idea was, well, back in the day, 21 books ago when I first started, you'd go on tour and you go to these places and you'd see other writers on the way, and you would learn things from them and ask questions, and because you worked by yourself most of the time as a writer. And then Paige Turner used to run a summit for book clubs.
Yes.
In the summit at sea. And that was really about the readers, but I really liked when you came together and that whole camaraderie. You were like, okay, I see why I'm doing this. And then over the years, I got all these questions about writing. And for a while, it felt like there was all of those people that were published in 99, 2000, 2001. You felt like there was no one behind you. And you would get these questions just from, random strangers or, writers to be that wanted to know, well, how did you do this? And so I came up with the idea for the summit. The idea was I would invite my writing sisters to come together, and it was Thursday through Sunday, and we'd have a number of faculty, like 4. We'd have a writing retreat, and it would be small, to help create community, to share some knowledge and help people learn from one another. So the first year was in 2019. We were the Writing Sisters Summit at Sea. We were very small, but it was great. Learned some things there. Figured out I didn't want to be at sea every year for a lot of reasons, because it's really hard to go to a writing seminar where people are asking you to do spontaneous writing exercises and you're hungover. So that was kind of
It can make some interesting stories.
So in 2020, we were set to go to Taos, New Mexico, and we were shut down because of the pandemic, of course. But we came back in 2021, and we did go to Taos, New Mexico with different faculty. It was great. It was like the first, you arrived, you kind of bonded. The first day was about, and by then I'd become a yoga teacher. So I was really focusing on also the mind-body connection, like how your creativity is affected by your thoughts, your feelings, and a lot of that you focus on when you're meditation and yoga. So we start the day with yoga, meditation, short. I had a certified in chair or assistive yoga too. So I had some people in chairs, some people on the floor. Everybody had different experiences. Often we don't feel welcome in those places. So it was just a gentle introduction. The first day was about the writing itself and craft. You'd have 2 seminars and writing time. And in the evening, we would have readings around the fire because it was in New Mexico. The next day was about the business of writing. I got a lot of questions about how do you write a book? How do you do that? But then just the questions like, what's a copyright? How does that work? So in Taos, we had one woman who was a lawyer and that was her specialty, to talk to people about when you publish a book, the business things, the legal things that go along with that, whether you're self-publishing or going with a publisher, things about rights, and what does that mean? What now you have a book, how do you market it? Because a lot of people think if you write it, they will come, and we know that's not true.
Right. No, that's not the way any of it works.
Not the way it works. And so this year, we're the Writing Sisters Summit in the Hills. We're going to be in the Poconos at the Himalayan Institute, which is, it's actually an ashram that's hosting us. I also was able to get a grant from a nonprofit that had a similar goal. So we were able to give a couple of scholarships this year, which is awesome. So people who wanted to come and maybe couldn't afford it, we were able to help, that's kind of great. I'm happy about it. And this year's faculty, other than myself, we have Donna Hill, which I'm really excited about. Donna actually stepped in at the last minute. We had Sheila Williams, and Sheila Wilson wrote Dancing on the Edge of the Roof. It was a movie called, the movie was not called that, but it had Alfred Woodard in it.
Okay.
I remember in a minute. But she had a death in her family, and this was just recently, so Donna was able to step in. We also have Alma Davenport Person, who is an award-winning playwright, and she's going to talk to us about the things that novelists can borrow from the stage, like how to write dialogue, work, and things like that. We have, see, this is bad.
But there's so much going on, you can't remember everything. This sounds like an amazing summit.
It's going to be amazing. We have, one of the things that I learned in doing this is last year we had a minister, because so many people are writing from the place of pain, and they want to write about trauma that they've been to. We struggle with so much we talk about people in corporate America struggle with imposter syndrome. Writers do too, because you're like, am I good enough? Is it, who am I writing for? All those things, emotions you feel when you release a book. So we deal with that too. So last year we had a minister, and she's been on a lot of my podcasts because she's just hilarious. But this year she was not available. So we have Dr. Monique Dawkins, and that's actually what she does. She's a life coach and career coach, and she's going to talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone. And then we also have Delonda Coleman. She wrote children's books and great representation of little girls of color in her books. And but one of the things that Delonda brings is that she is also a marketing expert. That's her day job for a major company. And so she's going to talk about some of the things that she does with her books, but also marketing and why it's important in different ways. A lot of people are very confused about all of the social platforms that are happening and don't understand why they're so important, or even how to jump in. I think that's everybody, because it's 4 of us. And yeah, so during the summit, people get to ask, and you can find out about that by going to the website, which is writingsisterssummit.com, or from my website, ninafoxx.com.
Thank you for watching this how-to video, and I hope it was informative for you. To keep abreast of the other how-to videos we post, as well as our weekly live stream show, subscribe to our Black Authors Matter TV YouTube channel. Be encouraged and be blessed. Bye-bye.